So the demand to get these Nvidia GPUs continues to be really crazy. Look at the situation this very morning. A few GPUs popped up in stock at Best Buy and almost like a big drop. You had a massive amount of people lined up and it really wasn't that many in stock. Let's talk about what's going on here, how you can get a GPU, and maybe what you should do to avoid a situation like this. And something that's priced pretty good is a Windows CD key. Today's video sponsor is going to be VIP-CDKdeals.com. Very simple process. You can get a Windows 10 Pro CD key and remember to use code CC20 for a nice discount. Hey guys, Tiago with Classical Technology here. Remember to subscribe and smash that like button. They say every time you do, you get to the front of the line. So let's give a little background into what's going on here. Nvidia RTX GPUs, you guys all know, very hard to get. When you can get them, the price is inflated, yada yada yada. That's pretty much everything that's been going on this year. Now, one of the best places to actually still get a GPU at a reasonable price is going to be Best Buy. And even though they had their little fiasco with the Total Tech package that we covered last week, basically in one of their drops they made you buy a $200 package in order to be able to even get the chance to participate in one of these GPU drops. Now, that package, it's debatable if it'll be useful or at all for certain people. I mean, you get like hardware protection if you buy certain things like Apple Care. So there's a bunch of stuff in there, 24/7 Geek Squad if you guys need that. So not really very clear who's that going to be very helpful for when you consider the market trying to get a GPU. And it also seems that a lot of scalpers actually benefited from having the Total Tech package be sort of a prerequisite to ordering a GPU. A lot of people were caught off guard and a lot of them were able to get multiple GPUs, as we saw stories pop up on Reddit, online, various places. Pretty much it was known that this didn't really help the average consumer, but only the people that were savvy enough to already either have a Total Tech package or quickly jump on it so they can get one of these GPUs. So what's going on specifically today? Why were there a bunch of people lined up at Best Buy? As far as I know, Best Buy has not been doing any type of in-store drop until, well into last year. I guess they stopped and they moved over to online drops. People had a lot of problems in the in-person drops. There were fights, people arguing over spaces in line. Definitely a whole big mess, a whole big debacle. I don't really think they wanted to revisit those situations very much at all. It gives them liability. There's a lot of issues there. So they switched all of their drops online. And now, seems like every Thursday they'll have a pretty significant drop. The most important thing to note here is that their Founders Edition GPU from Nvidia remain the only GPUs that are actually at their original MSRP from when they launched. I know that launch seems like a really long time ago, but there you have it. If you want a 3080 at $699, 3060 Ti is the cheapest at $399. That's the direct MSRP. Best Buy is the only one with a sort of agreement with Nvidia to sell these GPUs. In previous years and at the beginning of the launch of the RTX 3000, Nvidia would sell them directly from their website, but I think after a big fiasco, they had a lot of issues with their website. In the US at least, they made Best Buy their exclusive partner. I know that in Europe, they actually increased the price of the Founders Edition, maybe because it's a little bit harder to get it there, but at least in the US, they never officially increased the price. The closest that we have happened is at Best Buy is that Total Tech package sort of in the way between these Founders Edition GPUs. So if you want to count that as sort of like a sideways price increase, that's very fair as well. So that's why these Best Buy, drops are very interesting. There are definitely a lot of scalpers that take advantage of these drops with bots and different things. Best Buy does try their methods to try to stop some of those situations, but I've heard of people getting 4 or 5 or even more GPUs on a single drop. So why were people lining up exactly today? Well, if you guys remember, recently there was a decent sized Best Buy drop. In fact, the one with the Total Tech package that sort of, caused a big stir. What happens is a lot of those orders, sometimes some scalpers or bots, if you will, your friendly neighborhood scalper, a lot of those orders will get canceled. I've heard Best Buy employees say that if they see an order coming in with multiple GPUs, they can check that person's history. They can check that they've bought way more GPUs than a single person perhaps would be allowed to, and they will cancel that order. I'm sure some of them, let's say somebody gets a GPU like a 3080 Ti that's like a $1,800 to $1,900, they may regret it and never pick it up and cancel it themselves if they see that they have no use for it or it's too expensive. So I'm sure that happens as well, but a lot of these orders are canceled from people with multiple purchases. That's what I was told by somebody that works at Best Buy. Now, the reason everybody lined up today, you guys that watch the channel will know, Best Buy has this little app thing that happens where the GPU, if it's a canceled order, will show up in the app as out of stock and unavailable. But if you go to the physical store and you ask nicely for one of the associates to look up the SKU number for the GPU, often if it's showing up in the app, if you toggle on and off, if you search for graphics card, you toggle on and off in like the iPhone app or the Android app, it's going to show you that the GPU is there but sold out and out of stock. With the SKU number, generally they will have the GPU in stock. Sometimes it happens that it doesn't, etc. There are even Discord servers and Twitter notifications for when these canceled orders come into the store. So yesterday, overnight after Best Buy was already closed, in this particular store, you had a smattering of GPUs show up, and by smattering I mean 3 to 4 really desirable GPUs, mainly the Founder Edition GPUs. These are going to be the favorite of resellers and scalpers, as people like to call them, because they're the cheapest ones. And let's say if you're lucky enough to get an RTX 3080 at $700, those easily sell for in the secondhand market for over $1,300 to $1,400. At one point they were even near $2,000. If you look on eBay right now, some still are. So massive markup there. That's basically what happened here. Massive canceled order. 3 to 4 GPUs is massive in today's sort of nomenclature. So everybody rushed to that Best Buy before it opened. This was a sort of an overnight that it appeared, and I had a friend who went there who actually sent me this picture, and he said that yes, in fact, pretty much everybody in that line was there to get the GPU. Now, I think there was maybe like 1 or 2 people who weren't, who were just about to go to Best Buy, and they asked, was there a new release happening? Is there something happening, like a sale or something? But of course, a normal person who's not into graphics cards or whatever, they're not going to know that these are really high in demand. But no, it wasn't any special sale. Really what it was just these GPUs were available, and as soon as people saw them, they went there. So according to my friend's story, everybody sort of rushed into the store trying to find an associate, because remember, these aren't going to be on the shelves. These are canceled orders that likely will stay in the back somewhere. It depends on the Best Buy store. Sometimes it'll be in the store pickup area. The more savvy sort of people that were there, that probably have done this multiple times, they rushed right to the areas that they thought it would be, asked the associate, and of course if there were 15 or 20 people, however many people there, only 3 or 4 would be able to get the GPUs if they even decided to sell it to all those people, which I think most likely they did in this case. I say if, because in some cases, even if the GPU is there, certain Best Buy stores have not wanted to sell to whatever person. Sometimes it'll be for a specific reason, if that person has bought multiple GPUs or they suspect them of being a reseller. Other times, people just don't know where to find it in the store since it's like a canceled item. Other times, they've developed, because of this sort of rush to get these GPUs, they've developed some sort of policy where they're not going to sell the GPUs and just maybe let them go for like an online order or something like that. That's the excuse that they use. They're going to be available online later, which actually, from what I saw, is true. In one of the drops, I saw that one GPU that was in one store in particular was available for a local pickup, but only during that drop. And of course, if it was available at any other time, like if it came up now at a random time, somebody would buy it immediately. So I guess that's why there's a little bit of secrecy, or at least a little bit of a game you have to play in order to get these GPUs. But this is basically what happened here. Canceled orders. A lot of people rush to the store, and I recommend you probably don't do that. If it's going to be like something that popped up overnight, you can bet that when you go to one of these stores, there are going to be people waiting in line already, especially if it's going to be Founder Edition GPUs. If it's something like a 3080 Ti Tough or a Strix, which is already $2,000, nobody's going to want that because it's not a great value for gamers. You can get a cheaper 3080 or 3080 Ti, and it's definitely a terrible value for people that want to resell it because they're so expensive already. Nobody's going to buy it for any type of markup. And of course, for crypto mining, not as much interest for the 3080 Ti anyway, since it's LHR. Or at least not at those high prices. Founders Edition is another story entirely. At that price, it's more interesting for basically all 3 groups of people. So that's basically what happened here. So is it still a wise idea to go to one of these, Best Buy stores looking to hopefully get one of these canceled orders? Well, I think that while if it's a Founders Edition, you're going to have a lot of competition, but you may still be able to get some of the other GPUs that are still good, depending for your use case. Like if you want to game with it, or you want to do something that's not resale selling necessarily. You may still be able to get a good deal on a GPU that may pop up and stay in stock maybe a little bit longer than a Founders Edition, but definitely I would not go like right in the morning when they show up overnight, because you're going to have a tremendous amount of competition to actually get that GPU, because everybody knows about this process now. Like I said, there are different notification groups. It's a pretty widely known open secret, if you will, that Best Buy gets canceled orders. Now, if you happen to be driving and you see one of these GPUs pop up sort of in the last hour, the last 2 hours, there's a much better chance you'll be able to get one. So I definitely don't discourage people to check the app. If you need a GPU, you may still be able to get one, walk in and get lucky. It's really luck of the draw here. I just say that your chances, if it's something really good like a Founders Edition, other people are looking at it and they're going to be at that store right away. So your chances drop there. But regardless, it's definitely, even with the total tech package, which you don't need, I don't believe, to get the GPU in store. As far as I know, we've only seen it on that one drop, and then there was another small drop where Best Buy took away that requirement. So we're yet to see if it's something that they're going to continue having. I'm sure they got a tremendous amount of signups in order to get people on to, get a GPU with this total tech package. So we'll see what happens, but in the meantime, like I said, kind of calculate your chances, how far you are from a Best Buy when a GPU shows up. Definitely avoid that early morning one. You're going to have lots of competition. You may be able to get it if you're there early enough, but chances are it's better to wait for something to pop up midday or something like that. But really, really interesting how many people are still going after these GPUs. Nobody is aware of this sort of craze if you're outside of the PC gaming or GPU market. These GPUs now came out a fairly long time ago, so very interesting to see the intense demand that they still have. Alright guys, so let me know what you think down below. Remember to subscribe, smash that like button. Have you gone to one of these Best Buys and tried to get a GPU? Write your experience down below. I love reading it, and I'll see you guys on the next video.